What's going on, you guys? I'm here today with another video for you guys. Of course, I've got another OTS championship deck profile, but this will actually probably be the last one that we have. This was one of the last lists that was sent to me. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing. Be sure to hit that notification bell. That way you guys will be notified whenever I upload. A lot of you that have been watching lately have seen that I've been giving streaming a try, and we're having a little bit of success. It is a little harder than I thought, but you know, I think practice will make perfect, and in time it'll probably be a regular thing we do here on the channel. I actually really enjoy it. I love just getting in there and just having like conversations with you guys and just talking about the meta, talking about ban list predictions, stuff like that. We'll also be having a ban list prediction video probably coming sometime this week or something like that, as well as that long awaited Pure Invoke deck profile. I just been really busy you know, trying the streaming out and then having this last OTS deck profile for you guys. But this is my boy Tyler. Shout out to you, bro. He ended up getting second place at his OTS with SHADDOLL INVOKED. He actually got second to my boy Pete Navarro, who got first with SHADDOLL INVOKED. They had two different variants, so it was very cool that in the finals, yes, it was both SHADDOLL INVOKED, but it was two different takes on the deck, so I think that's awesome. I really like SHADDOLL INVOKED. I liked how you can approach the deck from this aspect, from the aspect Pete took, as well as in many other options that you have. I think the release of the SHADDOLL structure deck really changed a lot of things, and I think it did things, it made things just awesome that you can play SHADDOLLs again, and that you can, you know, incorporate them with, you know, things like the Alistair package. You can play main deck copies of Super Paul. You can do so many crazy things because of what SHADDOLLs do and how they function, so I'm a huge fan of that. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. Hopefully you guys enjoy. You guys know what to do. Give the video a thumbs up if you do, and I'm definitely gonna try to stream more, so keep on the lookout for that. And I'm definitely gonna be making you know, a dueling book to play you guys, because I know you guys have been wanting me to do that. Another thing I'm gonna want to do is make a stream deck and then literally play it against people online, so we're gonna be doing all kinds of things like that in the future, so just stay tuned. But anyways, on to the deck. He played triple copies of Alistair, of course. One card Macabre is insane. Just get you another fusion card. One thing that I love about SHADDOLL INVOKED is that Invocation becomes another fusion card, which is great. You just need it in a deck like this. It's similar to Prank Kids, to where they played Invocation because it just gave them another way to fuse, and I think that that's the name of the game when it comes to SHADDOLLs. Find a way to fuse, and I mean, you're good to go. You start rolling. Hand traps, you play two copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Pretty, you know, standard. Ash is, you know, not as strong as it once was, but it is the most universal hand trap, so you can get more mileage out of it in a long tournament. It's good against Rogue. It's good against just a lot of things. I feel like there's always something in a match that you'll always be able to Ash. I feel like Ash is never really a dead card in most matchups, so solid choice. You get the one. It also makes Purgatrio, which is nice. Yeah, the one copy of Ariel. You guys already know this is standard in SHADDOLL. You only play one copy. You can do a combo with it to where you end on, I believe it's Gravity Controller. You have your Macabre on one side, then you have your Reborn in defense mode SHADDOLL construct, and then you have a set L SHADDOLL that on your opponent's turn you can go into Winda, and then they're like just completely locked out because you have Winda, Macabre, hand traps. Like, it's insane. So yeah, so one copy of that. Triple copies of Nibiru. I've talked about this a lot in this deck. I love what Nibiru does for this deck. The fact that it's light is crazy. Helps you make construct a lot easier. Really good against opponents that overextend. If spirals overextend, it's really good against Salad. Really good against any deck that will summon more than 5 times. Really good against heroes. Really good against dinos. Really good against any deck that isn't really paying attention. They're just kind of doing their combos. Then you can Nibiru them out of nowhere and just literally stop their entire board they were trying to build, and literally they're kind of stuck at that point. So yeah, Nibiru is a really solid card. The fact that you can make construct with it is ridiculous. He played one copy of Damage Juggler and one copy of Trick Clown, just for the clowns. Damage Juggler is cool. Damage Juggler allows you to survive from battle. One cool thing people forget about with Damage Juggler is that you can actually stop yourself from getting OTK'd by the Utopia double combo because of this, so that's awesome. And Trick Clown is just another option for SHADDOLL Fusion. It floats, it's a light monster. It's just a good card in general. Helps you tutor out and, you know, make your construct easier and get a free monster to continue link climbing, so card's solid. Some lists play it, some lists don't. I think it just comes up to player preference. 3 copies of the best new SHADDOLL Windy. This card just does everything. Being able to become any SHADDOLL in your deck is nuts. 2 copies of Beast to help you draw cards. Card's solid. 2 is fine. I don't think you need 3. I don't think there's any reason to really go overboard with some of these SHADDOLLs. I feel like the ratio that both Pete and Tyler played is perfect. I think it's become like the standard ratio. The 1 copy of Dragon, you know, for back row decks, and the 2 copies of Hedgehog because it lets you search the spell. It also helps in like grind games and whatnot like that. Like I said, 2 copies of Hedgehog and 2 copies of Beast is pretty standard, along with the 1 Dragon, and of course triple Squamata, because it is similar to Wendy. It is literally any Shaddol in your deck, so there's no reason not to max out on 3 copies of Squamata, 3 copies of Wendy. That's it for the monsters. For the spells, of course, you get your 3 El Shaddol fusion, your quick play fusion card. This card is nuts. You can literally just play around so many cards with this. The fact that it's quick play, you can OTK your opponent with it. It can do so many things. I love the combo that sets it up to where you can just you know, at your leisure make a window against your opponent when they're trying to combo off or trying to start to special summon. You literally just lock them out with window. So I think this card is nuts. Also recyclable. The 1 copy of Foolish, because it becomes any Shaddol in your deck. 2 copies of Invocation. Again, he's not playing Desires, so you only need to play 2 copies of Invocation just so that you have extra fusion cards. Helps you make your invoke monsters. You get the triple Meltdown to get Alistair. That's standard. 2 copies of Mind Control. You guys know how much I love this card. I think this card is amazing in every format. It can just break a board by itself. You bait in a gate. You can take an Appaloosa, and that can be just like game ending, like being able to, you know, switch the ties on your opponent and literally make it to where you are the one that holds all the negates. Is crazy. I just love Mind Control. I miss it at 3, but I see why it's at 2. Card's just so strong. And then of course triple Shaddol fusion, easily the best card in the deck. Just, you know, gets everything rolling. If the opponent leaves an extra deck monster, which most decks do unless you're playing against a back row deck, it is like the freest like plus in the world. So this card is insane. Plus again recyclable. And then triple Super Poly in the main deck. So some players go back and forth about this. The beauty of Super Poly is that it's really versatile in this deck. Back in 2015 we played it in Shaddol Artifacts because of the lights and being able to make Construct and Winda so easily. It's very good in the mirror match, being able to break your opponent's entire board. This card's pretty solid. I like it a lot. You can also extra deck or side deck Super Poly targets for certain matchups, so that comes up a lot too. So I think Super Poly is very versatile, and I think Shaddol's is probably the deck that can play it the best in the main deck, because even if they don't have something to Super Poly on their opponent's side of the board, they can Super Poly themselves and like still OTK the opponent because of how the Shaddol's play. So it's an amazing card overall. And then the 1 Terraforming for another copy of Meltdown, and of course the 1 copy of the Trap. This Trap is awesome. Being able to banish it and then change a face down Shaddol monster to face up defense is nuts. So you use this in tandem with Aerial, and Aerial triggers to bring back your banish Shaddol construct. And then if you have the set El Shaddol, you can then make you know, you set up your board with Gravity Controller and that to make a window, which is just like insane. So very, very solid. But yeah, that's it for his main deck. It's 41 cards. Side deck real quick, the 1 copy of Pankatops. It's at 1. Very versatile side deck card. I think it's one of the best side deck cards. If you can you know, if you can't main deck it, it's really good in the side. It's just a solid removal, solid beat stick, and it just does so much. Free summon, everything, so no reason not to side deck it. I think it's just good in like most matchups. 2 copies of Droll. You can see he didn't main deck any other like Spiral Hate. This is mainly for Spiral. Like I said, it's not that great against Lunalight, depending on what their hand is like, but Droll is very solid against Spiral. It's just good against any deck that'll search a lot, so it makes sense to keep it in the side deck. 2 copies of Retaliating Sea. This is obviously for the mirror match. This is one of the hardest cards to go against in the mirror match. It puts a body on board. It just makes it to where your opponent, everything gets banished. Like there's so little you can do, like if you can't out this card. So this card is nuts. I think it's easily one of the best side deck cards against the mirror match. It's just good against this deck in general. You get the extra copy of Shaddol Dragon, of course, for the back row decks. This is this is for, of course, Alter Guys, Guru, any kind of back row decks. It just gives you versatility. Like if you have Foolish Burial or you send them off Fusion, you could start popping back row, and that's how you win against those decks. He also side deck 2 extra deck monsters. So 1 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon for the Super Polys and 1 Dweller. Dweller can come up in this matchup because you do have access to cards like Dragon, Squamata, the Trick Clown itself, Alistair. There's a lot of ways that you can actually, Ariel's also a level 4. There's a lot of ways you can actually make Dweller in this deck, and Dweller is just like game against Salad, game against Spirals. It's so strong, this format. I think it's just like one of the best extra deck monsters you can make, and I feel like if your deck can make it, there's no reason not to play it. 2 copies of Cyclone for extra back row removal. 2 copies of Dark Ruler No More to break boards. 2 copies of Evenly for the same thing, to break boards. I say it every video. We're going to say it again. Say it with me, class. In this card, this format, this card needs to be in your main deck or your side deck, somewhere in your deck, this format. And then the 1 red reboot to go against the trap decks and just literally OTK them, which is what this deck does best because of all the quick play fusion cards. You can really just cycle through your monsters and just OTK your opponent, so it's awesome. That's it for the side deck. For the extra deck real quick, we've got, of course, the one copy of App Cologne. This card's awesome. Being able to negate anything forever is nuts. This card's very hard for most people to get around, most players to get around. I think the card's just really solid. I really like this card a lot. 2 copies of Construct, standard. 2 copies of Winda, standard. You always play these standard 5 Shaddolls. I haven't seen anyone like kind of deviate from that. I feel that these are like the best ratios you can play right now when it comes to these cards, so huge fan of all the Shaddol monsters. I think they're awesome. I think Winda's very hard for most players to out if they don't have main deck outs to it, so Winda's awesome. You've got the Invoke monsters. You have the one Kaliga as well as the Elysium. So the Elysium will come up more with this deck because you are playing Super Poly. Super Poly can out that board, which is crazy, so I really like that a lot. Being able to get just an Invoke monster and a monster with a special summon from the extra deck is easy in this deck, and Elysium can just be a total blowout, so this card's awesome. This card's effect is also amazing. Just banishing the whole board is ridiculous. The one copy of Makaba and the 1 copy of Purgatrio. You only need 1 copy of each in this type of deck. This isn't a pure Invoke deck. This isn't a Mech Knight Invoke deck, so you only need 1 copy of each. Purgatrio is usually only if you're OTKing your opponent, which does come up a lot. You do play the Ash for extra fire in case the fire doesn't come up, but you have easy ways to access Makaba. You have so many light monsters, your Nibiru's, your Clowns, like everything, your opponent's light monsters, so these cards are always live. You got the 1 copy of Mad Invoker. Obviously, this comes up. Just can help you get extra invocations and just continue like OTKing your opponent. The 1 Boral Sword because it's game. The 1 copy of Cross Sheep because in my opinion it's one of the best cards that's been printed recently. So strong in this deck, especially because you fusion summon constantly. Cross Sheep just getting back an extra monster and then just being able to go into Boral Sword and just Boral Sword OTK is the name of the game. So easily one of the best extra deck monsters released, along with Gravity Controller. So Gravity Controller really shines in this deck more than other decks because it helps you get rid of the first construct you make. That comes up a lot, especially when you're doing the combo I was talking about. So you basically go into the construct, then you link it away into Gravity Controller. It's in the graveyard, and you use the trap and you banish itself. You flip Ariel. Ariel gets back your construct in defense, and then you have construct plus the Gravity Controller plus a set El Shaddol fusion, and you can literally make a Winda at any point against your opponent on their turn. So that's really solid. That's a really cool combo. That's like the standard combo most players do, but I really like it. I think it's very effective. And then you have the 1 All Mirage and the 1 Secure Gardener, which rounds out the extra deck. This is for your 1 card Makaba play. But yeah, that's it, you guys. That is my boy Tyler's second place Shaddol Invoked deck profile. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Like I said, this is probably the last OTS deck profile you guys will see, but like I said, we're gonna have a lot of coverage on online tournaments and stuff like that. We're going to try to stream more and talk about certain decks in the format. We're going to be doing BANLIST predictions very soon, and we're going to just be keeping up with the meta, because even though there are no main events, people are making events out of Dueling Book. They're making events online. There's going to be a lot of online tournaments from Luxury and other teams that are putting events together, and by doing that, we still get to see decks in action. We still get to see progression made, and we get to learn a lot from what's going on. Even though it's online, it's still Yu-Gi-Oh, and we can always take what we learn online and apply it in real life when we finally get our events back. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in my next stream, which will probably be in the next day or two, and we'll be working on more BANLIST predictions, and then we'll be making that video too, as well as the Invoke deck profile. But yeah, we got a busy couple of days ahead, and yeah, we'll just keep going. Hopefully everyone is staying healthy. Hopefully everyone's staying indoors, and hopefully everything that's going on in the world will pass soon, and life will return back to normal, or as normal as it can be. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time.